All right, guys. Not in the studio, as usual. Today, I want to talk about Reason 11. It's just dropping out now, and I think it's Reason 11 is coming out with some mixed reactions. And I kind of wanted to talk about my thoughts on Reason 11, my reactions, because I've been using Reason since beta, since version none. I've been using it since way back in the day. Actually, I started out using Rebirth, which was awesome. It was a dual 303 machine with an 808 and a 909 on the bottom, and it had little step kind of these little like tab sequencers or whatever. It was awesome. I used to play with that shit all day. Then Reason came out and I was blown away. It just took that idea and just went boom. It was awesome. So here we are, Reason 11 dropping now. I still haven't gotten mine yet, and I want to say this. I'm going to tell my feelings about Reason, but I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be buying the Reason Suite, and I'll get into what that is as well as why in a minute. But Reason is changing. Propellerheads have changed their name from Propellerheads to Reason Studio. Okay, why did they do this? Okay, well, there's a lot of questions on this, and a lot of people are thinking that it's because Reason is no longer going to be a standalone program, because with the new version of Reason 11, they are dropping Reason as a VST. So the entire Reason Studio, basically the entire Reason rack, and all that functionality is now going to be a self-contained VST unit for use in any of your favorite DAW. And now this is, I mean, at first, this is like, yeah, this is an amazing, this is really good. This is a really good idea. Even though it's a very controversial to us lovers of Reason, this is very controversial. Now, why is it controversial? Why are they doing this? Like, why is Reason pivoting so much to this point where now it's going to be more of a VST? Why can't they just upgrade the sequencer? Is my biggest problem. And I think the majority of the people that have been using and loving Reason for so long, we're just sick and tired of the mundane, very almost too basic kind of sequencer. And like, look, there's some really good elements in the sequencer that I absolutely love, that are like when I'm manipulating samples, like I can record, you can record great vocals on there and then manipulate each sample, like the whole thing. You can change the key of all of that. The time stretching is really good and seamless. You don't hear it, the artifacts that much. There's so many great things about the sequencer in Reason already. It's just that it's dated. It's just really, they haven't done any like major improvements in a long time. Even though they keep every version since like 8.5, they've been like, yeah, we're upgrading the GUI and we've not added night mode and all this other stuff, which is I exclusively keep mine in black, like the black version of Reason, which is amazing. I like the way it looks. But there's so many things that they could be doing to expand or to just make it industry standard. Because look, the way I look at Reason is it's almost industry standard, except for its sequencer. And I think Reason as a company has been hearing this a lot, and they probably just got sick of it now, and they're just saying, you know what? Everybody uses Reason because Reason is so unique that it doesn't matter what genre you're coming from or producing in or whatever. You're using Reason for the pure fact that Reason is a rack-based virtual fucking studio. I mean, it's awesome. You have the ability to turn the rack around and then reroute everything the way you want it. So you could come up with some crazy, amazing ideas. And that's part of the charm. That's part of the amazing charm of Reason. The GUI itself is just so good. It's every instrument has its own look and feel to it, its own layout. I mean, everything looks like you know, it looks like a rack of just like all these amazing things. So that's Reason's strongest suit, I guess, and they realize this, and they're pivoting now, completely pivoted to this model that is very, very contentious, I guess, for people that are lovers of Reason, like myself. Now, it's taking me a little bit of getting used to. I'll admit, I really have to admit, it's taking me a bunch to get used to it, but I'm starting to actually realize the genius of this plan, where now Reason is going to be a VST. You know, Reason's sequencer has fallen so flat and short on its functionality. Like I said, the functions that are there are just awesome, but just like, you know, little things that you know, just make the experience more, dare I say, I don't know, pleasant. I don't know, because the Reason user experience is pretty damn pleasant already. I mean, it's a great. I don't know what to say. I love Reason. I've loved it for so long. But maybe that could be a downfall if you want to look at it from the perspective of, is Reason here to stay? Now, yes, I think Reason is here to stay. They're going to stay. But in VST form, okay? Now, this is the thing that's got people on the fence. Is why they just do this Reason Studio thing? Like, why are they changing it like this? Like, why can't they just give us some simple upgrades to the sequencer? That's all I've been really asking for, you know? Like, I'm married to Reason. It's like, you know, yeah, what do you want me to do? I still gotta love her, you know? Like, I still gotta love Reason, and just make the best of it. But these little improvements would be just all we need, I think. So to do this much of a drastic change, I think is, I don't know. I want to say it seems short-sighted, but it's on the verge of saying this is also like a genius idea, because there are some really good DAWs out there that are just kill it when it comes to like in like when you're comparing Reason to some of these other DAWs, like Ableton, for instance. Ableton works, the workflow is so different, and you know, it just really lends itself really well to dance kind of music, you know, very formulaic musics that have a lot of repetition and loop kind of music. So those types of music do really good in environments like Ableton, because you have the ability to have multiple clips. You know, you just import all the clips, kind of things that you want, and then you can activate them to play at certain points in the song, so you don't actually have to like draw them out all the time. That was the thing for me. I never really got into Ableton, but anyway, that's another story. So, you know, you have all these other programs like Bitwig. I'm looking into Bitwig now as my the DAW that I'm jumping to, because I am going to be jumping to another DAW. At this point, I've kind of said to myself, I've raised the flag, half flag for Reason. The Reason that I know is dead, is dying. It's going away, because they're not going to change this. I don't think they're going to change the sequencer at all. At this point, I think they've committed enough to the point where they're just going to start looking at VST, Reason as a VST, as a VST, and that's it. Which is sad, and I'll be keeping my latest version of Reason, with all my plugins and my, you know, just endless sounds and abilities with that. But, you know, Reason as a standalone, I've had to come to grips with it. And I think just today I finally come to grips with the future loss of Reason. Like, I don't see a Reason 12 coming. I don't see it happening at this point. Which is kind of sucks, because I was always hoping and like waiting, I guess, for a wish. My wish for Reason was that it would be, you know, compatible with video. To me, that's just a home run. I think it would be amazing to be able to manipulate video, with rec slices or whatever. Like imagine the insane fucking ideas you could come up with if you could use reason with video. Like, I know it's insane. That would be an insane ask, just because as a powerful audio tool, and with video and all that stuff going on, it would just be like your computer would be like melted if you tried. I mean, anyway. So what's happening here now is Reason is now it looks, and this isn't fully confirmed yet, but it looks to me that Reason is changing their name so that they can look and feel more like the rack based version of Reason. I know, Reason Studios, some people are like, oh, that's an awesome name. Like, but I'm like, oh man, that means that they've changed their identity in the process, like, and what they're going to be, what their core offer is. I mean, if it turns out that the only thing that Propellerheads is going to be doing is making devices and salt synths and VST, devices and shit like this, then I can't cry about it, because they do amazing work. Just that alone is the most amazing part about Reason. So I guess what we're saying here, when everybody kind of like gets to that point where you get woke on this, and when you finally realize that it's probably for the best, actually, for everybody involved. And this way you can kind of find that VST or that DAW that really works for you, that DAW that really makes the most sense for you. That's that in itself, being able to go to like Studio One or Bitwig or any of these other like programs, Cubase or any of that stuff, Logic, all that stuff is going to be helpful, getting to a new DAW or embracing the DAW you already have, like your main DAW is like, imagine in Ableton, that's one of they're showing that like on their site. It's like working with Ableton. Like, Ableton's great. I guess, I'm not a big fan of Ableton. But maybe I need to revisit it. But like I said, I'm really interested in getting into Bitwig anyway, so this is probably going to be my probably when I start doing that. If I get to Bitwig, and the workflow is just, it looks like it's better already. Like the way that everything's set up, it's singing my name. Like, I've never even really gotten deep into using Bitwig, and I'm already feeling like it's the program that's singing to me. I don't know what it is. It's just totally resonating with me, based on all the things that I've seen about it, the way the workflow is, and just all that stuff has just got me really hooked on it. So if that means that I'm going to be using a new DAW to control everything, but then I have Reason in my back pocket, I mean, this is actually like the gears in my mind are going right now. Like, I'm actually getting more excited as I think about it, just because, wow, and that the sequencer just kind of was a letdown always for Reason. They made some big improvements when they did like the transposing of like audio loops and stuff, where you can literally record on the track, and then seconds later you could quantize each like syllabant. You can tune it. When they improved it that way, that was really good. But that was it. That was like the last time they actually really did anything in there. Now with new Reason 11, one of the things that I really like is that when you press control, if you click a MIDI note, you can mute these notes now, but also you can transpose them up an octave or down an octave by just pressing Control Shift and up and down on the keypad. Those are really cool things. I mean, I wasn't thinking about that before, but because it's never been introduced to my mind, and now I'm just like, yeah, that is awesome. That's a really good idea. There's all kinds of little things that they've these little flourishes that they've done that, I mean, they're going to be good. That anything is going to increase, Reason's usability. All these improvements, they're all going to increase Reason's usability. But, but it's not enough. It's like too little too late. And I think Reason just knows this. That's why they're just like, well, take our beautiful rack and all of our synths and all that great stuff that we have, and, just bring it to, whatever your favorite new DAW is, or your alternate DAW. Probably you're using it already as your main DAW, and you just come back to Reason every time you want to make like cool loops or come up with some cool new ideas. That's probably the typical user. So, all right, so let's get into whether or not I think, most people are going to be buying this or not. Now there's 3 tiers. They've added tiers. So there's Reason Lite, regular Reason, Reason Studios or whatever, and then Reason Studio Suite, which is the premier version. It's going to add 16 extra devices, I believe, to go with it. So you'll be prepackaged with 16 new devices on top of the 6 new devices that you're going to be getting with Reason, the new upgrade. So I'm getting it because of this. I'm not looking to buy Reason as I'm buying a new Reason. I'm looking at it as I'm buying a bundle of new devices. I know this might be weird. You might be like, wow, you're going to justify buying Reason as not buying Reason, but just as buying a whole bundle of devices? And yes, there's some amazing devices in the Reason suite. I mean, the 16 that they're offering are amazing. I have a few already. Actually, I probably have a good, not a half majority, but I have quite a few of them already. And it's still a good deal for me, because if you think about, for $300 or $299, however you want to look at it, you can buy the bundles, like the instrument bundle or the effects bundle or whatever, and they have like 30 or 40 different devices all in one go. So you buy the package for $300 and you get all. So what I'm saying is, for $250, I'm going to upgrade my Reason, and I'm going to get not only the 16 new the 16 ones that they're throwing in on that bundle for the suite, but I'm also going to be getting like 5 more pretty good devices. Now, 3 of them, they're kind of a throwaway right out the bat, because it's already something that they had, and those are the dynamics and the channel strips from the SLR mixing console, or whatever the hell it's called. I think it's SLR, yeah. For the mixing console, that is the main mixing console for Reason. Now, the reason why they offered these now is because, like I said, they're not going to be pushing the standalone Reason anymore. They have to have, this is like a self-contained version of Reason. So like when you're using Reason in, say, another DAW, you can't use your hotkey functionality on Reason anymore. So that's going to kind of suck a little bit. And I don't know how I feel yet about it, but I guess that's the limitation, and that's what's going to have to happen of, when you, that's basically the limitation, I guess, of when you're just making Reason as just a rack. So, you got to think about it that way. Like if you're using, Studio One as the DAW, and you have Reason, the rack inside it, if you press Control Z, you're going to be reversing or undoing something that you did in Studio One. So you have to look at it from that perspective. So that's why the new rack, or Reason 11, has, in the rack mode, it has an undo and redo button built like right on the top, and also flip rack. So if you hit tab, it won't flip the rack. It'll have a hotkey for whatever your the DAW is that's running it. So those are some of the limitations, but that is the reason why they've added the mixer as channel strips, the 3 of them, as separate devices, so that you could use them, because you're not going to have that mixer going forward in the way you do. So you'll be using, you'll still have it, but you're going to be less looking at it as a mixer, because that's part of like the DAW kind of thing. I don't know if that makes sense to you. It kind of makes sense to me, but what I'm saying is like when you're throwing it into rack mode, you're not going to be looking to use the mixer so much there, because you're going to be exporting a lot of your channels into the DAW itself. That's how I'm assuming you're probably going to be using it, but to each his own. Anyway, so those are probably 3 giveaway devices. I mean, they're just a new way to interact with it. Being now the rack version. I know I'm stepping over myself here. But you have this new Scenic, like this super amazing, like, atmosphere creating synth. And then there's also a new effects unit that like really has some really rich sounding like flangers and all that stuff. So I'm really excited to get in and dive into that as well. And of course, the other functionality that I'm going to be using as Reason, because I'm still using Reason as my main DAW, obviously. So I'm going to be enjoying the Bezier curves and stuff like that, and the little tweaks and stuff that are present now in Reason 11. For better or worse, I mean, it is what it is. I'm still excited. Like I said, I mean, this big of a change, it's bound to get people like, whoa. But I think if we cool down from it, and let the emotion pass and start thinking a little more logically on this, it actually seems like the most relevant future for Reason. I mean, even if they upgrade their sequencer at some point later on down the line, maybe a new CEO comes in and says, no, we're claiming back our, we're going back to standalone fucking status, and now we're gonna beat Pro Tools and all these other guys and have an awesome GUI. Like there could be that next guy who does that. I don't know, but even if they did, I think the idea of having Reason as a VST, like the whole entire rack as a VST, it's borderline genius. I think it's genius, actually. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's like I'm just still uncomfortable saying it, because like I'm just so sad that Reason's they're just not doing like a couple major tweaks that would probably be very easy to do. I guess it's not. I don't know what to say. But again, like with that in mind, man, it seems like Reason could be, as a VST, this could be the best news that we're not willing to hear. I guess at that point, I mean, you could be like, I've seen some videos of people talking about their advice about Reason and who they think are going to buy it. I think a lot of people have been, most of the people that I've seen have lost a lot of optimism. But I feel right now, actually, at this moment, as I'm logically looking at it in this way, I'm thinking that this is a really good decision. Actually, I think it's just going to take some getting used to. But once we do, and once we realize and get settled in our new DAWs, I know that's what I'm looking at here. Once we do that, I think it'll be that. I think it'll sing. I think that's when Reason will just kind of just blow everything away. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. It's saying, this whole suite of devices that Propellerhead's prepared for us is so important. It's going to be like it's almost itself. It should be a standalone, but it's not. But it's just a VST. That's what we're going to be thinking about like 10 years from now. Like, man, it would be cool to have Reason as a standalone. Like, oh, it used to be. I don't know. So I think ultimately, Reason 10, Reason 10 is a very powerful thing, but Reason 11 is going to add just that functionality. That's just, I think any functionality that they add, you got to upgrade for it. Unfortunately, that's just the kind of way it is. And hopefully you get some cool new instruments along the way. That's what I'm looking forward to. Like I said, I'm not looking at it as an upgrade for the purpose of upgrading the DAW, but more or less I'm upgrading my device palette. So I'm getting a lot more devices, and I'm going to be able to take VST wherever I want to take it, or Reason as a VST wherever I want to take it. And that, that to me, I think that's pretty much what we're looking at, guys. It's a sad day when you start to think about it. taps. Play that taps. I hear taps right now. But it's like, I guess it's got to be for the best. I just got to hold on. It's for the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. We'll see. So, what are you guys going to do? Are you going to buy it? That would be an interesting... I see a lot of interesting perspective on whether people think they're going to buy it or not. Maybe they're just being hasty at this point. I know I was very hasty in my first initial ideas about Reason, but after seeing it, live and running, and after all the reading and research and everything about it, I feel that, I feel comfortable that, you're going to probably buy this regardless of whether or not you're going to be using Reason 20 years from now. Like, you're going to buy it if you love Reason. You're going to buy it if you want more functionality from Reason. You're not going to buy it if, like, you're like, this is going to be the only thing I ever need, right? Because at this point, I don't think it's going to be the only thing you're ever going to need, unfortunately. You can see the writing on the wall at this point. So, that being said, I would say that you're going to have to change what you see Reason as. I think once you get used to it, you're going to love it. I think that's where we're at. And when you say, you know what, I love that idea, like, Nick, I'm going to do that as well. I'm going to get the suite because I want all those fucking all those awesome devices, and I want the new functionality. I want to bring Reason with me. Like, we're packing our bags, guys. We're on the road. Let's do it. And so that's what's up. Yeah, I think so. So I think if you love Reason, you're gonna buy it. You're gonna buy it. You may not buy it today. You may not buy it tomorrow, but I think you're gonna buy it. And like I said, it's like a new, a big rack bundle, but it's $50 off of what the rack bundles usually cost. So, but you're also getting the newest, best version of Reason available. I think that's a no-brainer in that aspect. Yeah, it's $250 for an upgrade, and if it's your first version, it's going to be over $600. That's tough, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I think most people that are going to be buying into Reason at this point are going to be hardcore producers that just need that need as much sonic palette as they can afford, and then people that are going to be upgrading, like myself. I think for the $130 upgrade, for the normal upgrade, it's kind of borderline on the, maybe. But for the bundle, thinking of it as a bundle for 16 new or 20 new rack units and everything, and the advanced functionality and the VST capability and all that stuff, I think that's where it's at. So that's my final conclusion on it. I'd like to hear what you guys want to say down below. If you love Reason, hate it, put it down there. So either way, we'll talk about that later. Peace out, y'all. Good luck.